I think there is ways to sort of bypass this system that wants us to be really impatient and demanding on what's on the surface, not of course not what's in the depth. Like for instance, sometime my remote control run out of battery and I can't find batteries in the house, so I watch the TV without remote control. So it's a different experience. You really stay longer on the channel and you start to appreciate things you would never think you would appreciate. I love watching YouTube because you watch stuff. There is everything there. So an old film from Oscar Fischinger, which is unfindable on tape, you can find it on YouTube because some guy put it there. I mean, I don't understand why people put stuff on YouTube, because I never did even one time. I don't even know how to do that. But I don't know why, what desire people have to put it. Is that sharing? But I don't think sharing is something that really motivates a lot of people. It's like they feel they contributed to something. I mean, I guess it's good. Me as a video director, the type of video I used to direct and I still direct, sort of fitting well for the medium, the net, like YouTube, because they are not so much in the aesthetics, in the depth of the visual, but they're more about the idea and sort of the concept and and about the story and what people are doing in the videos. So I think in some ways a director like me sort of survived quite well this transition. You can make something randomly and think no matter what you do, you can you have an outlet through the net. It's much less selective than it used to be in some ways. I bought the DVD of Sarah Silverman, Jesus is Magic, and when I watched it, I realized I had seen like 90% on YouTube already. Like all those clips were downloaded, and so I realized, wow, that's really, I really had seen it all already, and I realized how impactful it would be in terms of selling DVDs and stuff like that. Sometimes I watch the funniest animal videos, and they're crazy. I watched this owl the other day who had transformed into a robot to scare a predator. She goes like that. It's crazy. I mean, the evolution, I just been reading a lot about genetics and the evolution of species and how the genetic works is like so incredible, and it's very messy at the same time, which is something I like. It's not like mathematics, what is very precise. It's a lot of randomness and chaos. But yeah, watching the net, yeah, you have access to a lot of information. It's dangerous because, like, let's say if you're hypochondriac like me, I am, and you look at your symptom on the net, you're gonna have cancer in 10 minutes, so even less. So I stopped looking for signs because they lead you automatically to the most viewed subject. So of course, if you have something benign, nobody's gonna look it up. But so even if you have a headache, so it means you have terminal cancer, because everybody looks at cancer, not indigestion or whatever. In general, in life, it's always a danger to say, oh, things are not the way they were. But then I read this Russian novel the other day called Father and Son, and it's the same thing in the space at the generation between the father and the son. The father is like, oh, things are so different now. They used to be so different when I was your age, and I wonder if it's probably something that we have in ourselves to see our past as some golden time and feel the present as the end of time, basically. Like things are going for the worst all the time. No, I hope you're not going to take this sentence out of context because I'm saying the opposite. I don't think they are really. I mean, there is stuff with the climate change, and there is obviously things that seems to accelerate and go definitively wrong. But this sentiment that we live a time that is less valuable than where we were young, it's from our feeling, our relation to the world, more than the world itself. Even my son, he's 19 now, but even since he was 12, you would say, oh, 2 years ago things were different. You always have this nostalgia for what's from the past. Well, I'm making a disco record with my girlfriend. That makes me happy. I have the luxury, because I'm working on this movie, to have a nice house in Hollywood, in West Hollywood, and I bought Pro Tool and a bunch of microphone. I play drums, a bit of bass and instrument, and my girlfriend, she's called Becky Stark, and she's a great singer, and she makes a million of projects at once, and that makes me happy. I'm doing this. I interviewed Noam Chomsky a few months ago, and I have 2 hours of interviews about his theories of generative grammar, and I'm trying to find ways to illustrate it with animation. That makes me really happy. But now if I think of the far future, I don't know if it's a lot of reason to be happy. It's pretty, what horrifies me the most is how the countries are fighting to go and drill the North Pole. Now it's become de-iced because of the global warming. And this is horrifying. And the fact that every reporter that talks about it never express any sentiment about this parallel, that in Alaska, because of the global warming, they can drill for more oil. Because I thought lately we had reached the peak of oil, that we would go into a decline. That was a problem, but in terms of environment, it could only be beneficial. But now because of the global warming, ice is receding, they drill more, they find more oil, and what's more is there is tons of methane trapped in the ice, and that's gonna skyrocket the level of greenhouse gas in the planet, and still a good part of the population, manipulated by certain politicians, believe it's a hoax. I mean, I talk to people and they still believe that's a hoax, and that's really scary. I mean, there is a million things that doesn't make me very happy, so I sort of focus on little things that I can do and makes me happy.